Hi guys, it's me Danielle Danibuttons, and I'm here with something a little bit different today. I don't really have a full plan. We're just kind of going with the flow. But today that this is scheduled to go up is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all who celebrate. And I'm wishing you just joy and happiness and relaxation on your day today. But I personally have a rough time on Mother's Day because my mother passed away 21 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while. So I've done one video that was just like a pure color and chat talking about my mama, and I figured today would be a good day to do another one. Why not? So I do apologize if I've told you any of these stories before, but I don't really have new stories, you know what I'm saying? So I'm actually going to be coloring out of Mystery Mosaics, book 5. This was my first page in here, but I figured this was a good idea because the first Mama Color and Chat that I did was out of my other Mystery Mosaic book, and I just thought this made sense. So what we're coloring, I'm just gonna show you right away. I'm coloring this dart pages, and we'll talk about why as we color. But that's what we're coloring, and it's actually the last page in the book, which again is funny because the other time I did this, I also colored the last page in the book, and it was also sports related. So there's that on that. But let me pick out a few colors, and then we'll get into the chatting. I need red goldenrod. Oh boy, let me get my water out of the way. I always look at the answer key as I'm going. I was debating, I might change the background color. I did last time, I changed some of the colors. I did bowling balls and bowling pins, so I changed the bowling balls to purple because that was my mom's favorite color. So I'm probably going to change the background to purple because again, that's her favorite color. So it makes sense to me. But let's pick some. I need red, orange, goldenrod. I actually use these Don Quixote markers. I don't know if that's actually how they're pronounced, but I don't recommend these, so don't even worry about that. I do think they yellow. I ended up getting like 160 pack for like $15 on Black Friday, and that is why I use them. So let me find a good purple for our background. Do I have a good purple for our background? I don't know. Like, is this going to be too dark? Testing. I mean, it's a beautiful purple, so hopefully it's good. And then we got red. Nope, that's probably red-orange. See, these color names, I don't know. Yes, maybe I should have done this before we started, but I did not. So here we are. Are those different enough? I think this scarlet's almost too orange. Goldenrod and yellow. You kidding me? You kidding me? All right, I guess. Apparently, I'm just going to get these all out of the way right now, and then we won't have to worry about it. Makes sense. Could be smart. Could be some good thinking. Goldenrod, yellow. I'm going to do my purple for the background. I need black, which I don't keep with it. I'm probably just going to use my Blick Black. And finally, dark green. I have one called emerald green. Do we think that's it? Looks good to me. All right. So again, I don't really have a plan as to what I'm going to say. So I apologize if this gets weird or sad. I just figured I would tell some stories. Makes sense to me. So, stories. Okay, why did I pick this darts page? Basically, my mother was the most competitive person I know. She loved playing all types of games, and we just made everything we did into games. And she was actually did a lot of sports, and she used to be on a softball team, a bar league, and like after every game, the whole team would like go back to the bar to celebrate, win or lose, and they would play darts sometimes at the bar. So I remember that. Also, I'm obviously all of these stories are from my perspective and telling you the best way that I can, but there are some old stories at this point. So if somehow somebody who knew her in real life happens across this and I'm incorrect, just let me pretend. So thank you. But yes, so I spent a lot of time in my youth at the bar, and it was very funny because I didn't know that it was weird that I was there. And I used to like go right up to the bartender and be like, Shirley Temple, please. And they would obviously knew who I was and my mother, so they would serve me my Shirley Temples. And I'd play pool, like billiards, but by play, I mean I would just like set all the balls up and roll them at each other. So I would use my cue ball to try to roll them in. So that was fun. But it's weird because as an adult, I do not go to bars at all. Like, I don't even like bar-restaurant combos. So it's funny that I was definitely a much more confident child than I am adult. But yeah, everything that we did, like, we made into games. Like, I remember spelling. Okay, I was always a nerd, which I don't mind. I'm not saying it derogatory. But I would play school was like my number one game, was just pretending to be in school more. And I remember we would practice spelling tests, and what she would do is she'd give me a word and I would start the game standing, and if I got the word wrong I had to like kneel, and then if I got it wrong again I had to sit on my butt, and if I got it wrong again I had to lay down. But it was just like the funniest thing because I'd essentially be like laying on the ground trying to spell Saturday. And if I got it right afterwards, I got to like go back to the next step. It's almost like the Whose Line game. That was like one person can stand the whole time, one person has to sit, and one person has to lean over. That's what it reminded me of. But that was like my favorite game, and I thought it was so funny. Also, I used to be a pretty good speller. But speaking of Saturday, that word came up because I thought Saturday was spelt with an E for a very long time. And it was embarrassing because I was in 5th grade. And I was like first in line, and I showed my teacher there was like a sign that said something was happening on Saturday. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, they spelled it wrong. And he's like, what? I was like, there's no E. And he's like, are you okay? And yeah, that's not how you spell it. So that was a bad memory. But yeah, so we were always competitive, and she never, like, to my remembering, would let me win. Like, we always tried. And she taught me, she was big into basketball, and she taught me how to play basketball, and she wanted me to learn right. So, like, she would throw that ball at me, and if I didn't catch it the right way, I'd just jam all my little fingers. And this is all coming out so much more dramatic than it really was. I'm just trying, I don't know. You know, you get it. But I'm like, wait a second, these stories sound terrible. But they're not. They're not terrible. It's fine. Yeah, so she taught me that, and like she taught me how to catch with a glove for baseball, or softball, I mean. And if you've ever caught softball, you don't actually want to catch it in your hand. You want to catch it in that glove. It hurts real bad if you catch it in your hand. So like, I learned quick, you know what I'm saying? So we did that. And what else did we do? She's also super creative, and again, my last video about her is called like Why I Do Art, because she was always doing lots of crafty stuff. And in some ways, I don't necessarily consider myself to be artistic or even that creative sometimes. I don't know. Like, I do art, but I definitely don't see things in the way a lot of artists do. Like, she could just, like, make something out of nothing. And I feel like a lot of what I do is, like, with color. I don't know how to explain it. But her craft that she was real big in, and remember, this was the 90s, so this was a craft that made sense then, is she used to make flower wreaths for people, like, for their doors, or I guess popular back then was to hang them in your bathroom. And so we always had like a bunch of fake flowers all over the place that she would make really cool wreaths with. And I don't know, I see they keep selling these wreaths, but I don't, like, they're really, I have not had one since she used to make them. But she was like really good with like the ribbon and just how she arranged all the flowers. I don't know how she did it. I just remember like sitting in the kitchen late at night with the hot glue gun. I'm gonna try the other end of this for a little bit. So yeah, we did lots of art together, lots of playing school. She was actually a teacher. Before I was born, she was a special education teacher in New York State. But then she did not get her special education like teaching license in New Jersey. And eventually, after I was born, she was a preschool teacher. And after that, she did like after school programs. So that was all really cool. And it's just like, you have to be a very patient person for most of those occupations. Like, she always loved being a special education teacher and had a lot of good stories about her job there. And again, preschool, whew, that's a rough age. And it was always just so fun because she did all that like creative, fun stuff. I remember for Thanksgiving, she made a cornucopia. That was back when Trix, the cereal, used to actually be the fruit shape. So the little treats we made, they were bugles for the cornucopia. And then like the tiniest bit of icing and then the little fruit Trix. And they were absolutely delicious, but also looked like the little cornucopias. So that was a fun time. And she did like a lot of tutoring, which I enjoyed because she did most of this tutoring in libraries. So I would just get to hang out in the library while she was tutoring. I remember one library she tutored at, the kids department, which is where she would do it, had a giant like claw foot bathtub with like full of pillows to read in. And that is where I would spend all my time. So loved that for me. And it was nice because a lot of the times the kids she was tutoring would be similar age to me, not always the same. Usually they were a little bit younger, but like we would become friends and like she would tutor them for the hour and then we'd like all get pizza and things like that. And yeah, I remember during my life, apparently my parents met playing softball, but obviously I was not there for that. So I don't know about that. But obviously my mom did play softball. I think most of her, like, through when she passed away. Maybe she stopped like a year before. But I'm pretty sure she always played softball. I kind of remember her playing basketball. She was big into basketball in college. The college she attends actually named the 1,000 Point Club after her because she was the first female athlete to hit 1,000 points. And they actually have a basketball game in her honor every year. I've definitely talked about that before. So that happened. And what else did she play? She was in a bowling league. That's why I love bowling. She, every Friday night would bowl. And then sometimes Sundays, she'd join a second league. And she's, like, pretty good at it. Much better than I am. Like, her average would be, like, 230 to 250. And I think did I ever break 200? I'm not even sure. I think my best score ever was, like, a 190, which I'm pretty proud of. Because that's a lot of marks. But I was not hitting what she was hitting. But I remember she won, like, a trip. Like, the prizes for the league, she had won tons of bowling balls. But I remember she won a trip to Arizona, I think. All right, I'm switching colors a little bit because I want to mix it up. I don't like doing all the same color. So I'm going to switch to my purple background that I'm making. So, yes. What else? Yeah, but I also spent a lot of time in the bowling alley growing up. And I enjoyed the bowling alley a lot. I obviously eventually bowled. I was in my own little bowling league. But on Friday nights, there was like a kids, I guess like a babysitting room. But I was like at an awkward age that I didn't technically need to be in there. I don't know. I probably should have been in there. Thinking about it now, I'm like, I wasn't that old. But it was a lot of like little kids were in there. And I remember once I like hung out with this cooler older girl. And we just like sat in the bathroom the whole time. She was probably like, I don't know, 14. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so cool. But, yeah. It's so funny because some of the people my mom bowled with, like, still recognize me. And I just think that's crazy because I was like 10 years old, but they remember me. And I'm like, uh-oh, please don't be mad that I don't remember you. So that happened. This is going to be a little bit dark, but you know what? It's the meaning that's important here, not what the picture looks like. So what else do I remember? Once we went to Mexico. This is a funny story now. We went to Mexico. We did, I think I was 7. And we did like a Club Med situation, which I think is an all-inclusive resort type thing. And when we were there, we ended up like leaving the location. And apparently, I didn't learn this till after, my mom was like interviewed in a paper because there were gorillas. And hearing that afterwards, I was like, what? I don't remember any gorillas. I was thinking like monkey gorillas, but it was actually the GUER type gorillas. And I still don't remember that either, but it was funny because she was like interviewed in the paper and I'm pretty sure they're like, we're from New York. It doesn't bother us. And I was like, oh, geez. So I wish I could still find that, but that happened. But yeah, I don't know. I should have prepared more what to say. I just figured it would go with the flow. I remember, since we're talking about Mother's Day specifically, once I tried to convince her that Mother's Day she should actually give me a gift because I am the one that made her a mother. And she countered then that on my birthday that I should give her a gift because she's the one that birthed me. And I decided to leave it as is and go with the flow. But she was also like the best gift giver. And I miss that a lot. Obviously, not just because I enjoyed the gifts, but just like she was so thoughtful and made that so fun. Always, like she would always do countdowns. So you'd get like a little present every day. Where I remember once she went to visit my uncle in Colorado and it was just me and my dad. And she like left me 2 little bags. I'm sure they were like a dollar store type situations. And it was like 1 little bag of treats that I got to pick from every day and 1 little bag of like toys that I would pick from. And she was really good at like stockings, but she was really bad at keeping gifts a secret because I just remember we'd be sitting there. This would be like the week before Christmas and we'd both be sitting there and watching TV, and then she'd be like, fine, go open a gift, and be like, huh? It was just so funny. I was like, I'm just sitting here nicely. But she wasn't good at keeping the gifts a secret, which, again, I am not either now. So, makes sense to me. I don't know. I love giving gifts. And I try to be as thoughtful as she was with gift giving. I do remember, too. So, when she did the after-school program, like, she taught at it, it was right next door to like a Morning Glory, Sanrio, Hello Kitty store. I'm pretty sure it was the Morning Glory brand, which if you don't know is all like the little Japanese stationery and like the kawaii stuff. And that was super popular back in like 1999. I had a bunch of it, and especially since it was right next door. And I remember in 5th grade, I was allowed to stay home alone. Finally, like after school, I would walk home alone, and because she, I think, would get home maybe an hour later, and she left me like the whole first week I was home alone. She left me like a little treat every day, and one day it was this little Hello Kitty lipstick looking thing, and I came very close to applying it as lipstick. It looked like chapstick, and it was actually glue. So I dodged a bullet there. But yeah, because this was like, we didn't have cell phones yet. So it was just me home alone. I used to call, I'm pretty sure, my grandma when I got home. So somebody was sure I was home. And again, I was only got home alone for like an hour. But it was funny because that's how I ended up getting a cell phone in 8th grade. Because once I didn't go straight home, I went to a friend's house and nobody knew. My dad didn't know where I was. So I pretty quickly after that got a cell phone. So that was nice. But yeah, so she would leave treats like that. And I remember 2 separate stories. Once, home alone, like, I attempted to make cookies. And I didn't put any flour. I accidentally put sugar in twice. So I put like a cup of sugar for the sugar and then a cup of sugar for the flours. So I just like made a molten tray of nothing. So that was a good one. And then I also remember, if you think way back, Wendy's used to have their burgers in like metallic aluminum foil. And once my mom had left me some of those to eat as a snack after school, and I tried to microwave those. So we had some sparks, but it was all good. I got it out of there before any fire. So those are 2 vivid memories I have. And back to playing lots of games. We used to play Uno. We would have family Uno night. And we just loved Uno. And then my mom, okay, so she loved playing Yahtzee. This was like her way to unwind. She either played Yahtzee or she played solitaire. So she would just every night, she's a smoker too, which unfortunate, but you know, back in the day, she would sit at the table and like have 1 or 2 cigarettes and just all night long be playing Yahtzee, playing solitaire. And she also like had a fun solitaire that you could like play in your hand. I don't remember how it works now. I could probably figure it out if I thought about it. But like we'd lay on the couch and watch TV and she'd just always be playing to unwind. So literally always playing games. And I remember too, like she used to play poker. Like, so there'd be games with my uncle. They'd play poker. And her mom and grandma, I remember playing, and my aunt, or her aunt, were all playing poker all the time. And I remember those games pretty vividly. And, sorry, Sam is messaging me. I'm very busy, Samuel. Okay. She played, what else did she play? Just so much dice. Eventually, we got our first, like, computer. They had a different computer, but, like, this computer could go on AOL. And she was obsessed with the internet. And I think she did, like, chat rooms. But all night long, she would just be typing and laughing. Like, she had so many online friends. Which is funny, because, like, back in the day, it was all like, ooh, don't talk to strangers online. You never know. Like, it was assumed every person, every single human online was, like, a 60-year-old predator man. And it's so funny because now my best friends are online. And I know so many of you guys I consider like legitimate, real friends. And you're all from the internet. And I don't think any of you are 60-year-old predator men. So it's just funny how times have changed in that way. And I used to hate the internet because she was always on. And we like shared, the computer was like in our bedroom back then. And she'd always just be hysterically laughing and typing away. And I was like, ugh, I hate the internet. And so I would never want to use it, even when it was a good idea to use it. We'd like need to look something up. And I'd be like, no, not the internet. Never the internet. And I'd just try to like find the answer in books. And it's just so funny how things have changed. Because I remember my dad was like, what's wrong with the internet? And then eventually I became obsessed with the internet, of course. And he was like, I thought you hated the internet. I was like, nuh-uh. So I don't know. So much internet. But yeah. What else happened? What else is some good memories? I know we used to go to the beach. She loved the beach. She would always fall asleep on the beach and get very sunburned. I don't know why. I feel like growing up, we were always sunburned. I was not good at sunscreen until I got a little bit older. I don't know if she also didn't really use sunscreen or she just would literally fall asleep and then not apply it. Because I do remember, like, back growing up, it was the time period where there was like purple sunscreen and blue sunscreen. Like it turned your body blue so you knew you weren't missing out any spots. So I definitely remember at least sometimes using sunscreen, but probably not as much as I should have. And I was just burnt a lot. Which, again, I know better now, so nobody get mad. Oh, another thing, she was always a night owl. So I have always been a night owl. And she was always a night owl. But sometimes I would even awake her. So, like, we'd watch, I remember 11 p.m. would be when Friends came on. And obviously, like, Friends is still my favorite TV show. It was her favorite TV show, to my knowledge. And we'd always watch the reruns. It would be Seinfeld and then Friends. And a lot of times, like, we'd be sitting on the couch and she'd fall asleep. And then I would do that thing where I was like, I can't move because if she realizes I'm here, I'll have to go to bed. So I would just sit very, very quietly and, like, watch Friends all night. So that's pretty funny. I remember I watched Friends, and again, like, Friends came out in 94, so I was like 6 years old. So I probably didn't start watching Friends until I was like at least 8 or 9. But then I would watch those reruns. And I remember I was probably like 14 watching Friends, and my aunt like overheard some of it and was like, you watch this? Because sometimes there is some sexual content. And I gotta tell you, 90% of it went over my head back in the day. So nothing to fear, Aunt. I was just happy to be awake at night. So, but yeah, she liked Seinfeld and she liked Friends a lot. And I wish that I got to know her as an adult, because maybe these are not true opinions, but this is what my perception of the situation was. She was always really good at packing lunches. Like, she would leave me notes in my lunchbox, and she always like put lots of fun stuff in there, including sweet baby gherkins. I love me a good sweet baby gherkin. They're tiny pickles and they were so good. And every once in a while I remember them and I eat them now. But I love baby gherkins. Sweet baby gherkins. But she would always like, sometimes she would give me cereal. And I have to say, I'm pretty sure every time I had cereal, I would spill that milk. And she probably should have stopped giving me cereal. But other than that, she would always do like cute little fruits and like just different, like just a bunch of little different things. That was always like a lot of effort, you know what I mean? So it was a good time. How are we doing? We're almost at 30 minutes. I might speed color the rest of this. I don't know. I hope that you enjoyed my chatting. I might even just finish this off camera. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my mama, and I hope you enjoyed these stories. Again, it's hard because I don't have any new stories. Don't move. I'm going to show you 2 pictures because I have 2 physical pictures very close by. Hold on. Here's the first one. Yes, so that's us. This one's me and that one's her. So fun stuff. First of all, this picture is dusty. Sheesh. I have just been moving it onto my shelf. So, okay. Fun stuff. She used to get perms, so she didn't have naturally curly hair. Very jealous of my naturally curly hair. She's wearing a Goofy shirt. It's Goofy doing a handstand. And yeah, that's it. And then what else? This is our kitchen, and I am the reason that it is painted this way because she was letting me paint the like trim and then like turned around and I just painted way out into the wall. So they ended up having to do the bottom half of the wall green and the top half white and then the border in the middle. But before this, the kitchen was like yellow and like chicken themed because every kitchen in the 80s and 90s was chicken themed. So this was a great improvement. And I remember she loved these border strips. We did them a few times. So there is that. And then, do you think I look like her? I look a lot like my dad, so I don't know if you think I look like her too. And then my other picture is this bad boy. There we go. I got crazy eyes going. I really fit the part. So this was at like the boardwalk, like Jersey Shore boardwalk situation. I think, I'm not positive. It was definitely a boardwalk. Where the boardwalk was, I don't know. But it was like one of those booths that you dress up in crazy old-timey stuff and take these funny pictures. So there's her shotgun, my pistol, her beer mug, and again, I look crazy. But there's that. So I just think this picture's so funny because I think I played the part pretty good. Like she just looks jolly and I look cuckoo bananas. So there's some pictures. So that is the end of my story, I think. So again, I'm probably going to just finish this off camera. I'm sorry about that. I know I like to show you the whole page done, but that's all I can handle right now. So if you do celebrate Mother's Day again, I hope you enjoy. If you do not celebrate Mother's Day, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. If it is a hard day for you too, I hope you feel good. I don't know how to say it. We're going to get through it is all I can say for that. So I think that's it for me. Let's see. If I made it to the end, we're going to say the money bag is our emoji of choice. Noodles is barking out the window. Girl, I have a minute left. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to close the door on her. Hold on. Noodles, shh. Hopefully that dampens her enough. I think the house across the street is like being shown to be sold. So yeah, our secret word / emoji is going to be the money bag. So if you made it to the end, that's it. But anyway, like this video, comment anything. Starting over. I wish Noodles had waited 1 more minute. I'm so sorry if this is so loud. Like this video if you enjoyed. Comment anything you want to comment down below, including our secret word money bag or the secret little emoji. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm a fun time. My next video is going to be Tuesday and it is part 1 of our collection. So 8 videos in a row of my whole coloring book collection. You'll probably see this video done in that because I didn't get to that part of pre-filming yet. And I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again real soon. Bye, friends.